Senator Deimbofa Dimaro, member representing Bayelsa State. You are welcome, sir. Honorable Atikashe Otito, member representing Ondo State. You are welcome, sir. Thank you. The member representing Rivers State is also here in our midst, and the APC Caretaker Committee Chairman, Rivers State, Chief Honorable Tony Okocha. You are welcome, sir. Honorable Patrick Asowerin, member representing Ondo State, is also here in our midst. You are welcome, sir. Edo State, rather. Sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you for that correction. Member representing Edo State. Also in our midst is the IYC President General, Sir Jonathan Lokobri Jr. You are welcome, sir. And we have in our midst also the Amazon of the Niger Delta, Ankyo Briggs. We recognize you, ma. You're welcome. Chief Anab Sarah Igbe is also in our midst. Chief, you are welcome. Your Highness, you are welcome, sir. Thank you. I want to specially recognize the directors of NDDC seated here. Please, with a round of applause, let's recognize all the directors of NDDC seated here. We recognize you. We recognize you. Thank you very much. May I also recognize all the youth leaders who are seated here. All the youth leaders who are here. Youth, oh yeah! Please, a round of applause for all the youth leaders. You are welcome. Joining us is the member representing Delta State on the governing board of NDDC, Right Honorable Monde Iguya. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want to bring to the mic my colleague who will be doing this with me. I won't be doing it alone. I have with me Seleme Aso and Telma Ibegu. May I hand over the mic to Seleme Aso to continue? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, I would like to ask for a few seconds to establish the safety protocols, which we also call the scene setting. In this hall, we have 3 exits. One to my immediate left, another to the far left, and a third on my right. We also have 3 lavatories. That is, we have the one for the gents, the ladies, and also for those physically challenged. Thank you. May I, in the same light, recognize the presence of the consultant, Demieri Von Kemedi. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for him. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just as my colleague had earlier stated, this youth internship scheme was first announced on the 30th of July 2024 by the MD CEO of NDDC, Dr. Samuel Obuku, and of course, today we are witnessing the official launch of this event. May I, at this point, respectfully invite to give the opening remarks the Executive Director Projects, EDP, Sir Victor Antai. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you very much. The Chairman of the Governing Board of the NDDC, Barrister Chedu Ibie, the purveyor of hope in the region, and the bastion of the new NDDC, the MD, CEO, Dr. Samuel Obuku, the Executive Director, Finance and Administration, Alabo Bomai Iai, the first Executive Director, Corporate Services of the NDDC, Chief Ifedayo Abegunde, members of the NDDC board, directors of the NDDC, special guest of honor, youth leaders here present, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we mark a significant milestone in our ongoing quest for progress and prosperity in the Niger Delta region. It is with immense pride and deep sense of responsibility that I stand to welcome you to the launch of the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme. This initiative aims to address one of the most pressing issues facing our region: youth unemployment. In the Niger Delta, the youth unemployment rate stands at an alarming 42%. This staggering figure is not just a statistic. It represents dreams deferred, potentials unrealized, and a region struggling to harness the full capabilities of its most vital resource, its youth. The NDDC Youth Internship Scheme is a bold step towards changing this narrative, providing a lifeline to 10,000 young individuals to gain work experience that may lead some to start their own businesses. The heartbeat of any nation lies in the vigor and vitality of its youth. Yet, here in the Niger Delta, the beat has been faltered under the weight of impoverished background born out of a very difficult terrain and limited opportunities. The NDDC Youth Internship Scheme is not merely a financial intervention. It is a symbol of our commitment to nurturing and empowering the next generation. Education and entrepreneurship are the twin pillars upon which the future of the Niger Delta region can be built. This scheme provides our youth with the means to sharpen their skills and employability. It also encourages entrepreneurial spirit, giving them the financial cushion to take risk, innovate, and build businesses that can provide employment to others. Therefore, as we embark on this journey, I urge all beneficiaries to choose this opportunity with both hands. Use it to fuel your passion, to learn, to grow, and to give back to our communities. To our partners, stakeholders, and well-wishers, I extend my heartfelt gratitude. Your support and collaboration are vital to the success of this scheme. Together, we can turn the tide of unemployment and steer the Niger Delta towards a brighter and more prosperous future. On behalf of the chairman of the board of the NDDC, the executive management, and the entire board, I hereby welcome you to the launch of the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very, very much, Sir Victor Antai, Executive Director of Projects, NDDC. Two things that he said: the problem and the solution. Addressing the unemployment rate in the Niger Delta. That is a problem that we all know and relate with. And then solution. NDDC is providing
the lifeline for 10,000 Nigerian youth. And this is what the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme is all about. It is my privilege and pleasure to invite the next person who will be speaking today, the one that Sam likes to call a man that is moving the NDDC from transactional to transformational, a man that feels the pulse of not just the people, but the youth especially, because he is one of them. It is my pleasure to invite to the podium none other than the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Chief Samuel Ogbuku, PhD.
My chairman, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, the Executive Director, Finance and Admin, the Fifikachiri the 5th of Ogu, my EDP, Sir Victor Antai, and the Executive Director, Corporate Services, Otumba Ifedayo Abegunde, members of the Governing Board of NDDC, who I can see are done on white to show that they are here for peace. And that peace is what is resonating in the Niger Delta, representing their various states. Directors of the NDDC, staff of NDDC here present, our mother, Ankyo Briggs, youth leaders of the Niger Delta, representing various ethnic nationalities. I may not know all of you by your names, but just know that I recognize all of you. Precisely on the 30th of last month, we were all gathered in Portharcourt to sensitize the youths of the Niger Delta on the reason why Niger Delta youths shouldn't partake in the protest that was ongoing. Not only the youths were invited, leaders of ethnic nationalities were also invited, stakeholders were invited, and unanimously we agreed that we are not part of that protest. The Niger Deltans did not only just agree on that day, the Niger Delta have demonstrated, as you can see, there is no issue of any violence in the Niger Delta. We have demonstrated it in our action that we are not part of that protest. Because questions were asked, the reason for the protest, does it address our challenges? And all the answers were no. Meaning the protest was not meant for the people of the Niger Delta. However, what the Niger Delta people have demonstrated is that we might be diverse in tongue by way of our language and dialect, but we are united in our ideology. And what has built our ideology is our common challenges. The challenge of underdevelopment, ranging from ecological challenges, environmental degradation, and other challenges which I face in my community, you also face in your community. There's virtually no state in the Niger Delta that has not been affected by either flood or erosion. Most of us will encounter the issue of gas flaring, environmental degradation. All these have brought us together as a people, and we're united under that common ideology. Like as I said earlier, when the people of the Niger Delta were protesting from the creeks to the streets, no one joined us. All the businesses in the region ran away because we protested. This is the time for us to open our doors for businesses to come back, because we have shown that we are peaceful. I'm using this medium to reach out to company owners, the oil companies, to let them understand that the fear of the Niger Delta not being peaceful has been defeated. That even in the highest level of tension in Nigeria, the Niger Delta is the most peaceful place to be. There was no incident of anybody dying in the Niger Delta, no incident of vandalism. That is to tell you that the people of the Niger Delta, we have learned our lessons, and this is the time for us to embrace development. That does not mean that we don't understand that times are tough. Times are tough is not only in Nigeria. Inflation is a global thing right now. But for us in Nigeria, we know Mr. President is working very hard with his policies to address the challenges that are facing the citizens of this country. And we in the Niger Delta have chosen to give this government that chance by way of supporting this government and supporting its policies. That is why today we are here gathered again. When we wanted to host this program, some persons tried to discourage us, to say, why don't you wait till after the 10 days given by protesters, that they might come and disrupt the program? We said, well, we are Niger Delta people. Let us use this event to test if actually our Niger Delta people are not sensible enough to embrace something good. And today you can see, wherever you're watching from, to see how quiet, how calm, how responsible our youths are looking. And if you go outside, you can see that there is no trouble anywhere. Our people appreciate good things. The reason why we're here today is for the launch of the portal of the Youth Internship Scheme. I want to let all of us know that all the programs we have earmarked for the youths, which today we are launching the Youth Internship Scheme, as one of them, they are not afterthought or reaction to the planned protest. All these programs were carefully thought out, and they were included in the budget of NDDC 2024. That is to tell you that the government means well for the people of the Niger Delta and the youths of the Niger Delta. But coincidentally, after the passage of our budget and we're about flagging off this program, it might appear as if we're reacting to the protest that is going on in the country. On behalf of the government of Nigeria, I want to say thank you to the people of the Niger Delta for showing that great support. We might be silent, being in our houses, not being part of this protest, but I can assure you that in our silence, it is very, very loud. And the president appreciates our silence that is very, very loud, that is resonating in Abuja. I want to thank you on behalf of the government. Let me specifically thank the youths of the Niger Delta for demonstrating yet again that we are not irresponsible, but we are responsible youths that can be trusted, and if given opportunities, we can actually also contribute our own quota towards changing the fortunes of this country. I want to thank the youths of the Niger Delta. Also thank our mothers. whom in their ways have also cautioned their children not to go out to be part of this protest. If you had not demonstrated your motherly qualities, probably our children would have been out there. So all of us have contributed in one way or the other to maintain the calm and the peace in the Niger Delta. But above all, just to reassure you that we are also taking this as a moral burden upon ourselves to ensure that we deliver the dividends of democracy and ensure that whatever the Niger Delta youth deserve, or whatever the Niger Delta people deserve, so long as it is being shared in this country, you're going to get your own fair share. Coming to today's event. Today's event is the official launch of the NDDC internship scheme, where we are going to empower 10,000 youths in the Niger Delta, engaging them in various internships ranging from technology, automobile, craftsmanship, community service, finance, sports, medical, maritime, agriculture, technology, music, and art. Because we thought it is very, very necessary to expose our youths to these various areas and also engage them. We want the youth to take advantage of this. And wherever, for those who are going to be successful, wherever you're being sent to, try and also be a good ambassador of the Niger Delta youth by making yourself being of good conduct. Because your conduct is the only guarantee that can sustain you in this scheme. Your being picked does not mean it is employment. Because we have a consultant who is a lead consultant and 9 other consultants who are also going to take care of every state. These consultants are going to be writing quarterly reports, and these quarterly reports, if you're indicted not to be of good conduct, you're going to be taken out of the scheme. So you should understand that the guarantee of you being in the scheme is in your hands, in your conduct, or else you have yourself to blame. There are lots of persons who are out there looking for such opportunities. So if you are involved, just know that you are lucky. However, what is the process? We are going to use online registration. The whole idea is so that the process is going to be transparent. Because just like as we said, we have transited from transaction to transformation. And this process is going to be online, where after the launch, the demo is going to be done for everybody, wherever you are in the country, those abroad, to see the demo, how you can register. And once you conclude the process, we have them in our database. And from there, the selection process will be done. The selection process is going to be done based on equality of states and quota of production, because that has been the standard of which NDDC uses in distributing its benefits. That is to say, it doesn't matter because the MD is from Bayelsa State. That does not mean Bayelsa State would have more than Delta State that has more in terms of crude oil production, and Akwa Ibom that have more in crude oil production. But we still use equality of states. Equality of states, we tag the quality of states at 500. That means every state will have 500 flat rates before we now go into production quota on the distribution. Having said that, I also just want to assure you that the database, we have tested it and it is very, very strong. It has 6 servers. And those 6 servers, I can assure you that even with the pressure the portal is having right now, because even without launching, people already aware of the website. And I can assure you that as we are seated here, we have over 100,000 persons that have already registered. That is to tell you the pressure. And in anticipation of the pressure, we have about 6 servers to also back up the portal, so that no matter the pressure that comes, the portal will not also crash. So just be rest assured that we are fully prepared for this scheme. When we announced it, we did not just announce it because we just wanted to make a political statement. It was because it was ripe enough for us to start. So we are also, outside this, going to ensure that, having listened to Mr. President's broadcast yesterday, Mr. President rolled out a lot of programs for youths ranging from agriculture, training, and others. I want to assure the people of the Niger Delta that as NDDC, we will ensure that we also engage other agencies of government that are relevant to such programs to partner with them to ensure that whatever our own quota is, we must also get. That is what we're also going to do on your behalf. And to further inform you that after this, we will also, not too long from now, start the communal and public infrastructure renovation scheme, which is also a scheme that we intend to use in empowering our youths. Because we are trying to create various platforms of empowerment so that those who do not benefit from one have the opportunity of benefiting from the other. And that is why we are also trying to do everything through data. The whole idea so that one person alone cannot benefit from everything. So once you benefit from one scheme, know that the next scheme, others will also benefit. So this is to take us away from the old ways of NDDC, where only one person can benefit from everything. We know that, yes, what we have may not go around to everybody, so let us break it for everybody to have a little. So that is what we want to do. So I want to thank all of you for coming today and for supporting us, because without your support so far, we wouldn't have come this far too. I can assure you, on behalf of the chairman and the board of NDDC and the management, that we are truly committed under the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President to ensure that renewed hope is not just an acronym or a word, that renewed hope truly reflects renewed hope for the people of the Niger Delta. You can also agree with me that most of these things we are rolling out were never in existence. So just as they were never in existence and they are coming up now, we are not just doing it alone. We are doing it because we have a president that has requested KPIs from us. We must also ensure that we meet up those key performance index to also have good standing before the authorities. You are aware that we signed performance bond with the minister on behalf of the president, and we are working hard to ensure that the performance bond that we signed is going to be delivered to the people of the Niger Delta. You must also know that a very good job cannot be good without good supervision. So all what you're seeing today is because you have a responsible supervision from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who loves the people of the Niger Delta and who really wants to change the narrative in the Niger Delta, to make the Niger Delta more prosperous, for the people of the Niger Delta to be happy to live in this environment. And I can assure you that we'll do all our best to ensure that we trap all these developments for the people of the Niger Delta. As we continue in our future programs, whatever updates that you need to be given of messages that are coming from Abuja, we will keep updating you, because we believe in stakeholders' engagement. And because we have always engaged you, that is why you've always followed our activities and programs. So I want to thank you for following us. I want to thank you for supporting the programs of Mr. President, supporting the programs of the NDDC, and also showing that the Niger Delta people are a different people that believe in supporting the government of Mr. President and are people who are willing and open for development. Thank you very much.
Please a resounding round of applause for the Managing Director and CEO NDDC, Chief Samuel Obuku, PhD, a lover of youth. Thank you very much. Chairman, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I recognize the presence of the member representing Cross River State on the governing board of NDDC, Right Honorable Oracle to Duke JP. You are welcome, sir. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, may I also crave your indulgence to recognize the National Coordinator, Niger Delta Youth Council Worldwide, Engineer Jato Abido. You are welcome, sir. Also in our midst is the State Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN, the foremost youth body in Rivers State. Mr. Chairman, you are welcome, sir. Thank you. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just before the launching of this scheme, the launching proper, I want to bring to the podium Mr. Dagogo Tolofari for the demo presentation. Mr. Dagogo.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please permit me to sit on the already established protocol because of time. My name is Dagogo Tolofari, and I'm here to present to you the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme web portal. The web address of this portal is nys.nddc.gov.ng. And so when you go into that web address, it will lead you straight to the web portal. Now, this web portal describes the scheme itself. And of course, much have been said about the scheme. So I will just go straight into the reason why the NDDC developed this web portal. The reason why this web portal was developed was to ensure that the youths across the 9 states and the 130 local governments of the Niger Delta have access to this scheme. Meaning that wherever you are within the Niger Delta, you can use your phone or your computer to register for the program and upload your documents. Now, one other reason why this portal was launched was to enable the NDDC to use the data that we gather to perform analysis. And this analysis are all going to be designed to enhance the NDDC reach to the use of the Niger Delta. Because on the portal itself, while you're registering, you'll be asked to select areas of interest. And of course, when you go through the portal itself, you're going to see various areas of interest that the portal addresses, that the program addresses. And so, with that areas of interest, the NDDC can perform analytics that will help them plan for future projects that will be more impactful to the youth of the Niger Delta. So what you're seeing on the screen is actually the portal. And if you scroll through the portal, it gives you information of what the program is all about. And I think a lot has already been said on what the program is all about. So I'll just quickly run you through on how you can use the portal to register for the program. And please note that the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme is an online-only portal. Let nobody deceive you that you're going to submit form anywhere. All the forms are going to be collected via this portal because the data is pretty much valuable to the NDDC. So if you go to the portal and you scroll through and read through the programs and what the program offers, at the bottom of the portal, you will see the button that would allow you to register. And now these are some of the areas of interest that the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme is actually going to address. So when you go down to the portal, you will now see the Register Now button. And so when you click on that button, it's going to take you to the registration page. The registration is actually a simple process. And we've designed it in such a way that it is step by step so that it is easy for the youths to actually fill up their information in no time. So on the first page that you'll be shown, you will have to submit your email address. And then you submit your phone number, and then you select the states you're from in the Niger Delta. Remember I said the portal addresses the 9 states of the Niger Delta, the 130 local governments we have. All the youths will be able to have access to this. So when you select your state, you click on Start New, and that begins the process of the registration. And so when you click on Start New, 2 things happen. You will be sent a verification code. That code will come via email and through your phone. So you receive both a text message and an email from the portal. And just like you can see, the code has arrived in the mail, which will be copied, or which can be copied and pasted or typed directly from your phone on the portal. And then the next thing is to click the next step, and the actual registration process will begin. You have to fill in your correct data. It is important that we have the correct data filled in all the aspects of the form. So you fill your first name, you fill your last name, you select your gender. These are information that are pertinent to you as a person applying, not for someone else. Please, we want you to fill it for yourself. Don't fill on behalf of anybody, because that might be impersonation. So you want to select your marital status, your interests. So this is where your interests will be selected, and the data that we gather from here will now be used in the analysis. You select your educational level, your state. Once you select your state, it will populate the local government in your state, and then you select your local government, and we want you to put your hometown, because the data collection is granular. We want to have deep insights into the youths of the Niger Delta. So you click on next step. After you filled up that information, the next step is your contact address. Please, your contact address is different from your state of origin. At this point, you want to know where you live within the Niger Delta. So you put in your address of residence, you put in the city, you select your states, you now put in a phone number. If you have an alternate phone number, most of us have 2 lines, you can also put that in. And then you also be required to put in an emergency contact, somebody that can be reached just in case you're trying to be reached out by NDDC to the program and you can't be reached. Please, you need to supply an alternate number, and you click on the next step. So this will now take you to the segment for documents. We want your passport photograph. Please, I want to emphasize on this because it's very important. We want to see the faces of those that we are going to be empowering through this program. So please supply your passport. The formats are indicated on the portal. you click your means of identification, either NIN, your driver's license, and then your local government identification. All of us have that. We want to also take that information. And then once you fill that in, you go to the next step. And this step, we're actually uploading the information to the server. Now, you have to enter your NIN. Your NIN is important. You fill it in and you continue to the next step. And once you've done that, you have completed the process of registering. So if you click on the Finish button, you will now be given a summary of your registration on the NDDC internship program. Now, this confirmation page is important for you to take note of it. You can print it, or you can save it as a PDF and keep in your phone, because if eventually you are selected for the program, you will need your registration number. During the process of creating your account, we have automatically created a registration number for you, and that has been attached to the form that you're seeing. So please keep this carefully so that when you need to access information on the program, your registration number will be very, very handy. The process is simple and fast, so we don't expect any hiccups for those that will be interested in the program. Please remember that the URL, the web address for this website, nys.nddc.gov.ng. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Dagogo Tolofari. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the real time is now. May I respectfully invite the Chairman Governing Board of NDDC, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, for the launching of this scheme. A round of applause for him as he makes his way to the podium. Thank you.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive of NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ubuku, Executive Directors, members of the Governing Board, our very dear sister who always supports us 101%, and Q Briggs, Your Royal Majesties, our very vibrant and supportive youth leaders, our youths all gathered here today, the staff of the Commission, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. 6 days ago, we were all gathered here in Portharcourt, the same town, but a different location, to interact with the stakeholders, in particular the youths of the region. I'm glad that our interactions bore a lot of fruit, because we can see that all our towns in the region, the state capitals and the major towns and everywhere was peaceful during the last couple of days. We're indeed very grateful to each and every one of you. We thank you, and I think that we should all give ourselves a round of applause for that. That said, we're back here again, 6 days later, to proceed to the next step and in furtherance of one of the programs that was unveiled by the Managing Director at the gathering last week. Irrespective of the disruptions or the unfortunate disruptions that occurred in the last couple of days. By disruptions, I mean inability of everybody to go about their normal businesses, inability of people to get to their offices, and just people having to stay at home. the management of the commission worked day and night to ensure that this launch still holds today. I think we should give the MD and the EDs and the directors and staff of the commission a round of applause for ensuring that irrespective of what may have transpired in the last couple of days, we're still able to gather here to launch this program. I want to believe that everybody has a copy of this program. And if you have a copy of this program, if you go to page 13, there's a short note there. There's a short note that details the scheme. And it's very important that you read it and you understand it. We are not taking money to give you every day or every week and for you to just put it in your pocket. What we want to do is we want people to be empowered in a way that they learn a skill. So it's an internship. But during that period of the internship, that 12-month period, it is expected that a stipend will be paid to you. And so it's very important that we take it seriously. Because one of the biggest problems you have is a lack of education and also inability to empower people with a skill set. So this scheme, this youth internship scheme, is to empower you with a skill set. They've also made it clear it is online and it is free. Please do not go to anybody saying, come and help me, come and do this for me. You must register online. If you don't register online, you can't get onto the program. So please, let's pay particular attention to that. Another thing also is that, yes, there's an age limit. We are not going to take a PAS or geriatrics or pensioners and then they come and hide under a youth scheme. If you're over 45, please do not apply. I beg of you, please do not apply, because you are not too far from retirement age. Leave it for the youths that will still have at least 2-3 decades of work life and active life. So please, let us develop our youths. Do not try and cut your age by 10 just so that you can get onto this program. Because when you do that, you will be denying the legitimate beneficiaries the opportunity to get on the program. So please, let us just be truthful and honest and leave it to those that fall within the age bracket. Also, persons living with disabilities. There will also be a special provision for persons living with disabilities. So I know that it probably wasn't highlighted there, but it's also something, there's a link or a category somewhere where that will highlight if you're a person living with disability. Please just state whatever disability it is, because we're also reserving a portion, a certain percentage for persons living with disabilities. So, that said, we're indeed very delighted that you've been able to join us today. We're grateful that our region still remains unaffected by the events of the last couple of days. And we're here on the mandate of Mr. President. And also, I recall during the inauguration of our board, the Honorable Minister made it clear to us, and he said that there have been complaints about NDDC. And they appealed to us to ensure that this time around we change the narrative. We've always maintained that position, and we will always continue to maintain that position. Like I say to people, we all want posterity to judge us fairly. And for us to do that, it means that we always have to be transparent in our dealings. We also have to ensure that we interact with the key stakeholders of the region. And I believe that we're doing that. I think this is the third of such engagements that we've had. So we will continue to do it, and you can be rest assured that our doors would always remain open, and we would always continue to do what is in the overall interest of the region. That said, it's now my singular honor and pleasure, on behalf of our President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, a man who means well for the region, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to formally launch the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme for 10,000 youths under the ages of 45, the age of 45, today in Portharcourt, Rivers State. The portal is open and it will remain open till the 31st day of August 2024. Please ensure that you register between now and the 31st day of August 2024. I thank you for joining us today, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless the Niger Delta region. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please let's put our hands together one more time for the Chairman, NDDC Board, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, who has just officially launched the Youth Internship Scheme, the NDDC Youth Internship Scheme. And of course, he's emphasizing that those who are over 45 years are not allowed to register. And of course, NDDC is an all-inclusive board, making way for persons living with disabilities. Please put your hands together one more time for the board of the NDDC. Thank you so much. And so I'd like to invite, to make a remark, the National Coordinator, Niger Delta Youth Council Worldwide. Please let's put our hands together as invite to the stage Engineer Jato Abido.
Yutoye! The chairman, NDDC, the MD CEO, the executives, order protocol being observed. I believe that with the youth of the Niger Delta region, we are overwhelmed. We are sincerely grateful for this act of kindness by this board and by Mr. President. I want to say, like there's a famous quote that says, in every generation, out of relative obscurity, we discover our mission. Either we fulfill it or we defray it. Now we have decided to identify with this board and to fulfill our mission as a youth of the Niger Delta region by not taking to arms or going the other way of our brothers from the other region. On this note, I want to thank this board. I want to thank Mr. President. I want to thank the Managing Director. I want to thank the governing board of NDDC for making this possible for us. On that note, I will say, for our youth, we should give 3 resigning Boza to this board. Boza! 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 We're overwhelmed. Like Oliver Twist will say, 10,000 youth is much. But we also appeal, as time goes further, we know that you're going to include other youth. Thank you very much, and thank you very much.
And thank you very much to Engineer Jato Abido. National Coordinator, Niger Delta Youth Council Worldwide. A 1,000-kilometer journey begins with a step, but it comes to an end eventually. It is my pleasure to invite for the closing remarks this time, Alabo Honorable Boma Iyaye Esquire, DSSRS, EDFA, and DDC. Let's put our hands together for him, please.
The chairman of our board, the managing director, my colleagues, executive directors, my colleagues at the board, state reps, and our very amiable sister, Ann Briggs, the mafia messenger, I greet you. Good afternoon all. MD, on a lighter note, when the last speaker was saying Boza, Boza, I almost ran away. It sounded like the protesters have come. Or more. My brother, your Boza daylight gone. But thank you for that very wonderful accolade and remarkable speech thanking the board and management of NDDC. My job is very simple, to say thank you. MD, one thing that you have not realized, you think you're only creating an empowerment program for 10,000 youths, but by the last count, I know that we have about 5,000 indirect jobs created. Why do I say so? All the youths have started approaching business centers from Ondo State to River State. All the business centers are busy. So apart from those that will benefit from the empowerment scheme, even those that are operating business centers will also benefit. So even though I'm more than 45, I'm no more a youth, but I want to say thank you to you for this initiative on behalf of the youths. Let me say thank you to all our guests this afternoon, especially from the fact that this notice was issued out a few days ago for all of us to converge here for the launching ceremony. All the way from Ondo State, Edo State, Delta State, Imo State, Abia State, Cross River, Bayelsa, and River State, we have all gathered here. And Akwa Ibom, sorry, my brother, and Akwa Ibom, we have all gathered here to participate in this launching ceremony. I want to say thank you for coming, and I want to pray that God will guide all of us, give us journey mercies as we go back to our region. Thank you, and God bless all of us.
Thank you very much, the Executive Director, Finance and Administration, NDDC, Honorable Boma Iyaye. Mr. Chairman, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, the deal is done. At this point, I want to respectfully ask that we rise for the national anthem.